I'm so unprepared.
Typical man flu.
Well, here's a little preview for everybody. Jesus told me not to do the fluff.
Did he also tell you not to put the chat on this scene?
Yeah. Heard some interesting things about that Jesus guy.
Yep. He's been around a long time.
Yep.
I ordered more stickers. Finally got a PO box. Well, I've got to go do my ID and stuff. I can start mailing stuff out. I had to get more culture casino club member stickers. Let's see. Brandon said. Nope, he's not gonna make it. Nope, he got it. Brandon needs a baby daddy.
I guess Comics has to carry his own show again.
Gee whiz.
We talked about. I've talked some man flu here just to talk over everyone.
Right, I guess I better go create headlines real quick. Jesus Christ, that's loud.
Yeah, it is.
And it's on repeat. And it's not. Yeah. Back on the YouTube. Corey will be back next week. Yeah, it did. Sorry about that.
I had to go
Ladies
get
and
a towel to
gentlemen,
wipe up the
boys
blood
and girls,
leaking out of my
and
ear.
everyone in between. Get ready to blow up on a Beamer, sneer at a Scion, and criticize a Cadillac. This is Yelling at Parked Cars.
Wrangles everywhere.
Indeed.
Penis, gagging you with entertainment.
In more ways than one, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about everyone's eardrums being blown out. Anyway, yeah,
What was that?
It's what?
Hmm?
What was
Huh?
that?
Huh?
Technically, I want everyone to know that was Comics Division's fault. I'm
How
not
is it
quite
my
sure
fault?
how, but it is.
Uh-huh. I blame my surly producer.
I brain my surly producer. Is that what you said? Yeah,
I
that's nice.
blame.
Oh, blame.
Not brain. Blame. I know you would probably love for me to brain you with a baseball bat upside the head, but yeah, that's what Vegas is for. Though you're not going to be there, Talks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm
hello
not going.
everybody. Welcome to
What's up?
Yelling at Park Cars. We are now streaming again on Rumble and
I mean,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's like we've always been streaming on Rumble, kind of. At least for
IR
like the
Comics
last.
Division
yeah.
is good stuff.
Anyway, so we are now back on multiple platforms, just because, whatever. It's fun.
Election year.
It's election year. Yeah. What we will do is we'll cut out after an hour on YouTube so we can get to the more spicier things that we want to talk about. Because we all know how YouTube is. It's not so friendly to certain things. So
Right.
anyway, let's get the rest of the gang in here. Sorry, folks, no Brandon Morris tonight. Apparently his kid thinks that his bed is made of lava, as he put
Yes,
it.
and doesn't like to sleep.
Yes.
Poor child.
Yes.
And that's just Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He'll probably be hell diving in about 15 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. Screw it. That's honestly probably the real reason why. He's not here. So did you guys hear about how Trump is promising a bloodbath if he's not elected?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heard it from everybody on the For You feed on my Twitter. Had to switch it to following for like 5 days just to not see JoJo and Defiant Dad.
Oh, come on.
So
I love
annoying.
fucking trolling them. I know nobody pays attention to them. And they probably don't pay attention to my comments, but I just think it's fucking funny.
Oh, I
They're
do it
so
too,
retarded.
but it's all I get anymore.
Yeah.
Especially after a comment that didn't actually happen, like what they're going off about.
Well, this is basically any headline that involves Trump in one of his quotes.
Yeah.
Because of the very fine people hoax, I immediately do not give any kind of credence to what they say about him. Oh, Trump's calling for a bloodbath. He's saying that Putin can go invade Europe. It's just like, fuck. I mean, this is the issue that we see right now with today's media. All you have to do, anytime somebody says that Trump is calling for a bad thing, just go and listen to what the man says in entirety without them like truncating it, and you'll realize it's nowhere near as horrific as they're making it out to be. Of course, everybody here knows that. I mean,
But that's the hilarious part.
Yeah.
It then comes out what the context is, and then all those people turn around and say, well, it doesn't matter what the context is. We all know that, deep in there, there's a meaning that he's passing on to all of his followers. It's like, you guys take meaning like a cult. We just listen to his words and say, yeah, that's not what he said.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing too is like one of the things that people keep responding to Trump's calling for a bloodbath is like all the time, like the Biden administration has referred to a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
and every member of the media. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that shit is absolutely beautiful. Oh God.
Earlier that day, I think Joy Reid had said something that had bloodbath in it.
Really?
It may not have been Joy Reid. It may have been Rachel Maddow about the elections. So, yeah.
Well, the funny thing too is
Joy
like,
Behar actually bathes in blood. she's like 300 years old. So.
well, she bathes
Not doing
in
much for her.
period blood. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
that flushed out.
yeah, it really did. I find it just absolutely hilarious, like every time, and it's funny because the people who buy into this crap are the low information people that, again, don't do any research. They don't do any digging into what the meaning is. And even if you go to the Webster's Dictionary and look up bloodbath, it is referred to basically in economic terms. And that's exactly what he was using it in, because he was talking about the auto industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because China's posting up in Mexico. And he's saying that if he's elected, we're going to put 100% tariff on him. If he's not elected, Joe Biden's not going to do anything. He's going to let them sell those cars for whatever they want here in the U.S. and enriching China in yet another way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The most shocking part of that, and we're talking about this stuff in the exact reverse order that we had settled on it this morning.
I'm following his lead.
I know.
I'll be honest with you, Talks. I don't even remember what we talked about.
I know it. I only put it in the Gilded.
It was supposed to be Chicago first.
Did you?
Chicago? Was it
Did
Chicago?
you actually put the order in the Gilded? I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
No, I mean, I saw what you posted, everything in Gilded, but I don't remember there being a specific order.
Here.
Well, now we're going, so we might as well just continue.
I want the truth.
I can't handle the penis. There you go.
We all know toxic man flu can't handle the penis.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
You know that.
The most shocking part about the whole bloodbath fiasco, for me, wasn't it, okay, Twitter just basically knocked it down almost immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then watching everybody be all upset. It's like watching someone who spent so much time to become a totalitarian asshole.
Well, I would say totalitarian propagandist.
Yeah, propagandist.
It's so funny watching these propagandists because that's exactly what they are.
Right.
And
they're like, wait.
they're so mad that they can't be.
We don't control all the narrative. So the most surprising part was how fair and balanced the factcheck.org article was that we looked at. That's what shocked me.
I was shocked by that too. I'm gonna go and find that so we can go and pull that up because
it's in the Gilded that you don't look at.
No, I did look at the Gilded. I mean, that's where I read your articles and shit.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Oh wait, what did I say? What was that? Oh, here it is.
I mean, but they have to be. They have to try to be balanced every now and then, especially when there's this much context. It's hard to cut that one out and be like, yeah, we can run with that.
All right, so here's the factcheck.org Trump bloodbath comments. Film at 11. All right, I'm going to make this a little larger so I can actually fucking read it because I'm blind. While speaking about potential loss of U.S. auto manufacturing jobs to foreign countries, former President Donald Trump said if he isn't elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the country. Wow, right there, first sentence. Context.
Yep. While talking about this.
Yep. President Joe Biden's campaign quickly accused Trump of fomenting political violence. The Trump campaign said Trump was clearly using the term in the context of an economic bloodbath.
Wow, that sounded very WWE-ish.
Yeah, it was. I figured it'd be more fun for people watching at home.
Good. Yeah, it was good.
Sunday.
If you actually watch and listen to the section, he was talking about the auto industry and tariffs. Stephen Chung, a spokesman for Trump's campaign, told the Washington Post, adding Biden's policies will create an economic bloodbath for the auto industry and auto workers. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty funny. Yeah, this whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. I'm actually surprised we're getting proper context from factcheck.org.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't see all that either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want me to scroll down, or is there anything particular you want?
So in this fact check article, so it talks about the China thing, what he said there. There's the stuff in the parentheses down there that says an aside right underneath the fake news media one. So you scroll down just a little bit. Right there.
Right here.
So it says an aside, when Trump was president, auto manufacturing jobs rose about 5.8% to 1,012,500. That was in his first 2 years. Mm-hmm. This is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which makes a lot of these numbers up anyway. But he dipped in year 3, and then it sharply dropped during the pandemic. First of all, no shit. Yeah, we get that. There were 949,300 auto work manufacturing jobs in the U.S. when Trump left office. So approximately 60,000 jobs were lost in the auto industry due to the pandemic. Yes. Under Biden, the number of auto manufacturing jobs has gone to up 12.2% to 1,065,100. So it is more than when Trump in his first 2 years with auto manufacturing. But I will have to say that they had to bring a lot of that stuff back because Ford was doing all the stuff in Mexico. They had to bring that stuff back. So the numbers kind of hit. And it's hard and costs a lot to move those things back and forth. So they just kind of left them here. Now they're thinking about moving them back.
Well, I mean, ultimately, here's the issue, too. This is like whenever Biden takes responsibility for all this job growth numbers, is like, dude, you are literally discounting. And again, this isn't Joe Biden's doing this. It's whoever's running his fucking POTUS account. It's not him. It's probably an intern or Karine Jean-Pierre or whoever the fuck ever.
Somebody else. Yeah. Somebody
but they always show the job growth numbers. He's like, Trump went down. And of course, it went down under Trump because that's when the pandemic started. We had great economic growth. Right. 2020 hit and everything fucking tanked.
Yeah. So the chart is steadily climbing.
Yeah.
Sharp spike downwards. And then nothing for a little while. And then it started climbing back up because all the jobs were recovered.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so Biden's taking, we're not going to say responsibility, credit for all this job growth. It's like, dude, literally everybody's going back to work. It's because of the fucking shutdowns, you moron. And
Right.
well, I'm not gonna say he's a moron or whoever's doing this is a moron. I'm saying moron because it's not true. The reality is they're just trying to manipulate people into believing that this nonsense is basically job growth numbers when it's us recovering from the
It's
fucking
recovery
pandemic.
numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and specifically in the automobile industry, you could probably point to the difference there, the 50,000 from Trump's high point to Biden's now, is kind of what Talks was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Trump made a whole bunch of ultimatums to the auto industry. Like, you guys took bailouts. You're not going to keep working in other countries. You've got to bring some of the manufacturing back here. And they were doing that. So it takes time for that to happen. So now that all of that's back, yes, there's more jobs available in the U.S. because of what Trump did to the auto industry, not because Biden just suddenly created 50,000 jobs.
Right. Yeah, the other thing too that they point out, which I think is great, which is also true, this is what we already hit on, is that bloodbath, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, is a major economic disaster. Right. Which is basically what we're already kind of in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been used all over, and the community notes after they said that, they were just getting savaged. And though I'm not a big fan of the whole mob mentality of community notes, there is a little bit of a gatekeeping that goes on there. But when you have the mob mentality that's going after the stupid, it's better than the mob mentality ganging up on groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what Elon Musk is trying to do, I get it. I get it from there. But it was pretty savage, and there weren't that many comebacks. I mean,
No, they weren't.
Normally they'll double, triple, quadruple down. I think they just doubled down on this and gave up. I didn't see too many people still going.
Yeah. There's still a few shills. But
yeah.
But the best community note I've seen happened about a week ago. Did you guys see the one? Sydney Sweeney's tits aren't that great. And the community note was, yes, they are.
Yes, they are. I saw that. That was pretty funny.
That was fantastic. The one thing I noticed about the fact check, at the very top of it, did that say that it was Google translated? So was this maybe fact checkers from another country doing the fact check, and we got a translation of their fact check? Because I think it said it was Google translated from another article or another language.
Yeah, you kind of have to watch out for that stuff nowadays.
It was the very first line in it.
In the article that we just had up?
Yeah, just above the article start, I'm pretty sure it said that it was translated from something else.
Parler Español from esta traducción de Google Translator.
So it may have been fact checkers outside the U.S., and then it got Google translated so that we could see it.
Right.
So maybe that's why it's a little bit more fair and balanced. It wasn't our fact checkers.
So let me get to Rumble Rants because fucking Pinochet, dude. Seriously. All right, I'm gonna get this one first because I find it funny. He says, "Stop believing the job growth numbers they report." Isn't that what we're doing? We're calling that all into question. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what
I think he means the actual numbers themselves. We're questioning where the numbers are coming from. He's saying, "Don't believe the numbers." Period.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I said when I read them after the one there, I to be fair to myself. After I read it came from Bureau Alerts, I said they make them all up anyway.
Yeah. He literally just said,
he literally said it.
Yeah, they're just
you folks have to dig deeper.
Well,
please don't parrot
so
lies.
the fact that
We're not
Biden's
lies, Sorry. Dude,
yes, they do. They revise them down, and they're see the Fed's not going to drop the interest rates again. You know, it's insane.
Yeah,
they're trying to drive. I don't even know if they understand what they're doing anymore.
Yeah,
I think they're just following their narrative.
They're following their version of economics, which says you can spend your way out of a recession.
Yeah. He said
and
also
print money
BLS
out of a
revised
recession.
numbers down on every report when nobody will notice. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know what the job growth numbers are. The only one I was referring to was the one in the article and what we're talking about, where Biden's trying to take credit for the recovery, essentially. So anyway, that was it, dude. I don't fucking buy into their horse shit. Pinochet for, I believe all these are $2, says eventually YouTube will start putting the thumb on the scale and people will be forced back here. It sucks you lose the audience. Do you have metrics on geographic demographics info on the drop?
On Rumble, we don't. On YouTube,
yeah, Rumble
there
we
is.
don't. I have to say, since I started YouTube back in 2017, their numbers reporting as far as, and again, I don't believe all the numbers either, just because I want to throw that out there, because there's been incidents where things don't add up. This is, I'm going to say I mean, I don't know how YouTube is designed. I'm assuming there's a lot of microservices going on, and sometimes that data doesn't make fucking sense from one screen to another. And that could be the fact that data just hasn't been shared out properly. But there's a lot of like iffy, skewy things on the YouTube side. But overall, comparatively, the metrics that we're getting to see now is like way better than what we saw back in 2017. So, I mean, demographic wise, like the majority of the people who watch my content on YouTube are typically Americans, British, and Australian. So, yeah, I find that to be
with a large majority male.
Yep. Large majority male. I want to say my female audience is like 2.2%.
Oh, it's got to be more than that.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like I said, if I
maybe our female audience is just outspoken.
I don't know. Comparatively. Also, Peter Shea is welcome to us for $2. Says Biden couldn't even survive a week without proving Trump was right on his bloodbath. Today, Biden mandated 50% of all cars made must be EVs. Idiot. Yeah, I mean, fucking EV thing, man. That's
so you know that
that's some fucking stupid shit right there.
Percentage of EV cars in the U.S. peaked at 8% of the market multiple years ago. So
those were the people who cared to do it.
And it's dropped down to 6% of the total market.
Because nobody likes buying a $30,000 battery for their car that they're still paying off.
It's extremely heavy and all that stuff, yeah. And some of the people that were on Top Gear and are on the Grand Tour now, James May is one of them. He was a big proponent of the electric cars and stuff. And he says, I have one, and then I have my regular car.
Yeah, this is a toy.
It has a very limited use. Mm-hmm. And because if you're in the city and you have one and all that stuff, fine, but you still have to plug it in. And
yeah, I was gonna say it'd be great for like city driving. I mean, if you're just driving back and forth to work, that's not a big deal. But anything more than that, those things are gonna be fucking an issue.
Well, once they've got you paying through electronic money, and you're plugging everything in that you have into electricity, and they control that through utility laws and all that stuff from there, they got you by the cojones. A couple of the articles we were looking at. So some of the things we were looking at today was what happened in Chicago, right? And with the voting and stuff yesterday. So there was a primary yesterday here in Illinois, and I voted, and Donald Trump won by quite a bit. It was very disappointing because there were 16 open judge positions. And out of those, only one had a Republican candidate.
That's insane.
And it's just, number one, I don't think judges should be voted on anyway. I don't want a low information voter determining who's going to be a judge. I just don't want that. I need our representatives to do that and to pick fair people. But the system's broken, whatever. But how unhappy people are, just in general. There was that article about that you shared about people that were unhappy, and then the stuff that I saw in New York and that survey that came there. It's just amazing how miserable people really are. And you get kind of stuck in that misery, and you don't stand up and look around a little bit and say, holy cow, I could be better than this.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, I'm not going to say happiness is subjective, and we'll definitely kind of get into that. But I think for me, people are happier when there's meaning in their life, right? Whatever that translates to. Right. And part of the issue with the ultra progressive woke side is that they have nothing, right? they have nothing to live for. And therefore, that's why they get wrapped up in these causes. And these causes don't make them any happier. There's one, I always mention how I walk past my TV in the morning and The View is on. Well, there's this one time they had Gloria Steinem on, and she is like the most miserable looking woman I've ever seen. And it's like you would think that with the progression of time and all this, headways that feminism, there we go, I can say the word, has made, you think she would be happy, right? No, she's still just as fucking miserable as she was in the 60s.
No matter what you win, there's always more that they are going to push for. So it's a never-ending cycle for them.
Yeah.
There's never an actual victory because, okay, well, we got this, but that's not enough. We got to keep going this way.
Well, I think
we've got to have more and more and more.
It is the whole thing. Activists don't want people to be happy because if you're happy, you're not going to be an activist. So you have to be miserable. If you're miserable, it's like, what's the source of my misery? Oh, it's men and masculinity. It's the white man.
You can't grift off of happiness.
Yeah, you can't.
If you're an activist.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the joke on the YouTube sphere. It's like, as long as Hollywood sucks, man, we have a market. I mean, we could definitely talk about movies that are good.
It's just a lot shorter conversation usually.
Yeah, it's a shorter conversation.
It's further, we go back and look at things that were good.
Yeah.
And then we break it down. It's harder to do in the moment.
Yeah. It's like that Acolyte trailer. You guys saw the Acolyte trailer, right?
No, I still haven't seen anything but the poster. I don't care.
Well, did you see when it leaked like 6 months ago?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I mean, it's funny. I thought they already released it at this point. I forgot it was leaked. I'm like, dude, this is not like fucking new. This is like the exact same thing I saw like 6 months ago. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It was leaked. I completely forgot.
Oh yeah, we're too plugged in.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had to remind. So I like Ghostbusters a lot, and we forgot the movie was coming out this week. And I've done all this research telling you what movies are coming out, all that stuff and everything. And you had to tell me something this morning. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
That's right. They've killed the fantasy. That's what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a whole lot you can do at that point to get that back, except let it all burn to the ground and then try and build it back up. And for some of us, it may be 20, 30 years. We may not be, awake enough to notice when Hollywood comes back.
Yep.
So they've had down times before, but
no, they absolutely have. I mean, there's been definitely very rough periods in Hollywood's history.
But I'd also say maybe with our bubble, I mean, because I don't watch TV, so I don't see movie ads. I see the ads when they hit, when we look at them.
I watch TV.
It's not like I get pumped full of, previews and trailers anymore while watching an actual show because I don't watch shows. And if I do,
the only time I see trailers is when I go see a movie. That legit is it.
So, I mean, the trailer is not that effective on telling you when a movie is anymore. It's effective at either getting your attention or saying, no, this is going to suck.
Well, I mean, and a lot of it too is typically where I see trailers now is when they're posted to Twitter or YouTube, right? That's typically when, I go see these things. Yeah, because we all knew that the trailer was dropping like the day before, and we saw that fucking stupid period poster. Anyway, Pinochet is like up to $250. They don't want to ban social media because they want to protect people. They want to stop people from bypassing them and thinking for themselves. Yes, 100%.
Well, we can't have the government being hamstrung.
Yeah, no, we can't have the First Amendment hamstringing the government now, can we? Also, for $5, Pinochet's helicopter tours. Is it possible YouTube has been inflating their metrics to justify apocalypse? More crises than actual existent to justify a thumb on the scale, and they used ad revenue to pay y'all and avoid taxes. I honestly think that we get more views than is actually being reported. That's where I think some of this stuff doesn't add up. Because there's times where if I go to like where it lists all my content and it'll show the views, but if I go to the dashboard page, my views are usually higher than when I see on the actual content.
The analytics.
Yeah. Well, not just the analytics, but just like when I go, when you're in the back end, you can go and click on your content, and you have like videos, live streams, etc. And you have like a listing of all your videos, and it basically kind of gives you a summation of how many views, the thumb up versus the thumb down, crap like that. So I actually think that stuff is probably underreported. And like I said, I don't know how they go and ingest all this data. Obviously, it's very easy to get the stuff that they're reporting on based off of somebody's account, browser stuff, your GeoIP, and stuff like that. So, but overall, the issue with the adpocalypse is that was completely manufactured, and it was basically because it
Crowder.
the dude from Vice? I know it was because of Crowder, but I don't remember the dude's name. I think he worked for Vice, and he basically caused it.
The gentleman with the alternate lifestyle that Crowder mocked.
The issue is that ad numbers, the whole thing with the ads, it's like that season of South Park, which I want to say is season 19, where it goes after the whole thing with the ads. It's like the ads are becoming people. Yeah, it was a very funny season, but that honestly is kind of the issue. If something is not advertiser friendly, the problem is when what they will do to somebody is that they're going to go, they kick you out of the partner program saying, your content is not advertiser friendly, but YouTube will then go and run ads against it, and you won't get the fucking money.
They will make money, you won't. Yeah.
Yes. That is where
if you're not in the partnership, then they should not be able to run ads if they're the only ones getting money from those ads.
Yeah. Vice, you mean the company that doesn't exist anymore? Yeah.
Because if you're not friendly for ads, then they shouldn't be putting the ads there based on their own logic.
Yeah.
So if they can put the ads there because you are friendly enough for them to make money off of it, then you should get your share.
Yep. 100%. Also, Freak Tractor 199. That's cool.
199.
I haven't seen any 199s in our chat before, so
we get them every now and then.
Yeah, true.
There's some crossover every now and then.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the whole ad excuse is bullshit. It comes down to ideology, and they want to punish people like Crowder who speak speak against the narrative on certain topics, and they basically use it as a stick. It's
another form of suppression.
Mm-hmm. Another form of suppression, another form of censorship, another way of trying to take away people's livelihoods. That's the issue.
They're actually trying to reframe the adpocalypse from 219 as being something about Pedros.
What?
Yes.
What?
So I've been, you're talking about adpocalypse. I said, okay, I'll go look and I'll try and figure out this guy's name. And the first thing that comes up is that they're saying it wasn't about Crowder at all. It was about a softcore Pedro ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
You were saying Pedro. Exactly. I was like, what does Pedro Pascal have to do with this? Oh, you mean fans of the playground?
Fans of the playground.
Pedro Pascal. I could have said Pedro Pascal meant the same thing.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I love how they have that. That's fucking funny.
Oh no! Now we got another.
Now we got another what?
Bloodbath. Dang it.
Oh, okay.
Adpocalypse. It was a bloodbath.
Yeah, that was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I kind of screwed up what we're going to talk about in order.
Oh, you go right ahead, dude. It's your show. I just did all this work.
I made him nervous when I said he had to carry his own show tonight.
Yeah, probably it blew it right out. He's like, "What?
Wait, what?
Huh?"
No. Well, my joking comment back to that was that Toxic Man-Flu would just take over like last week.
Yeah, I couldn't hear over the music.
Oh.
What? Huh?
I think he said we mentioned Indians or the Japanese Empire and just let you go.
Oh yeah, either one of those two. And I'll go or fatherhood. Yeah,
We'll
whatever
figure out
that
a way
is.
to get there every
Yep.
week either way.
So you had a recent development talks over in Chicago where apparently, and I find the fact that this was even attempted to be absolutely hilarious, but apparently they were trying to pass a migrant tax. Can you explain
Yes.
to us what exactly is this migrant tax and how is it supposed to work?
So I got to turn my ad blocker off to show this because I can't. God dang it! Red
I'm
State.
assuming it's not a tax on migrants.
No. So
it's a tax on
it's
citizens.
on
tax for
Red
the
State. So
benefit
for
of-
those of you who go and
I can share the article.
yeah, share the article because I can't get logged into Red State right now.
Okay.
But so here's our mayor in Chicago, okay? And I can't even read that. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find my login to this.
Do you want
I
me
can
to
read
make
it.
bigger?
Yeah, go ahead. So, yeah.
Voters
this
in
is-
Chicago have voted against a proposed tax increase that many believe was a backdoor effort to raise money in order to support the city's growing migrant crisis. During Tuesday's primary election, voters were asked whether they would support increasing levies on high-valued real estate sales to address the problem of homelessness. The vote appears to have failed by a margin of 54 to 46%.
Well, I love how they basically are trying to tax people with high value properties. That's great. It makes me wonder what is considered to be a high value property these days, because basically your average home is roughly going for around 300,000 these days. So is that considered to
Typically-
be a high value property?
Typically, high value, as far as like insurance companies are concerned, is 1.3 million or higher. Which
Yes, but we all know how that works.
depends on where you're at, because I mean, like, I bought a house for 280, it's now worth 560, 570. I mean, that's how much the appreciation has gone up in the market in certain areas. So a house that was $600,000 or $500,000 10 years ago is now $1 million house.
Well, it's kind of crazy here because we bought this house for 270 thereabouts, and we actually got a pretty good deal on it because it was vacant for like a year. And this is
Mhm.
back in 2018 when we purchased this house. That would be unheard of now.
Yeah.
The fact that they were asking for more, we offered less. Hey, sorry, buddy. They basically were like, yes, we'll sell it to you, because nobody wanted to buy the house. And it's
Right.
a nice house too. I don't understand why. But anyway, it's now valued at like, I think it's like 430 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's way more than this should be. Maybe I would say this house is worth like 325, maybe 350, but yeah, it's nuts.
Right, but the thing is, you can't sell it, take that equity, and go get something nicer, because
No.
everything else has valued up just as much appreciation-wise. So,
Yeah, I mean, pretty much at this point, if I actually was to go and sell the house, what I would do is I would just take that money and go build a house on the ranch.
flip it to the ranch. Yeah.
Yep.
The city's far-left Democratic mayor, Brandon Johnson, had claimed that the money would be used to tackle the issue of homelessness. However, opponents pointed out that the Chicago City Council maintained the right to spend the money any way it chooses, and it would inevitably be used to prop up the tens of thousands of migrants who have arrived in the city.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I find so hilarious about all this is, it's kind of obvious, right?
Give us more money, we'll decide how to spend it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be we're raising money for the homeless, but we can spend this money however the hell we want.
And please vote against anybody who might have high value, because they need to pay their fair share.
Yes.
Cornell Darden, the chairman of the Chicago Southland Black Chamber of Commerce, told Center Square that the bill's supporters sought to push a narrative that only wealthy white people would end up paying more. There it is. They make it a race thing and say, we're just going to tax the rich white people and the rich white people, and we're going to help out everyone else. But it's not just white people who own property just north of $1 million. Our chamber members own property north of $1 million. Home insecurity is a huge issue. When the price of doing business as a landowner goes up, then the price of rent goes up. whether you're a business owner renting a storefront or you're renting an apartment in Chicago.
Yep, that's pretty accurate.
Also looking for a slice of the pie was the Chicago Teachers Union, CTU, which is seeking housing assistance for its members ahead of contract talks this summer. Local media reported that the CTU members even pulled their voting-age students out of the classroom and pressured them to support the measure.
Wow. Holy shit.
And In Wokeness says that is blatant election rigging. Yes.
Yeah.
But they want to give resident housing to teachers.
Yeah.
Right? So they will have complete control over the indoctrination system.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this stuff every day. And I'm actively trying to block everything that throws this stuff at me. And I'm actually trying to block it. But you'll watch this video, you'll see.
Okay.
It was billed as a nonpartisan parade to the polls.
Repeat after me. We will not give up the fight. Housing is a human right.
But there were certainly political messages chanted as Chicago Teachers Union members marched a large group of public school students from an engagement event at their West Side headquarters to Union Park so that those who were over 18 would cast what in many cases was their first vote for the upcoming Illinois primary.
It gives the youth a chance to speak and give power in their voices.
Teacher Brock Massey brought students from this.
It's called you were being manipulated.
Yeah, you could have gone and voted without your teacher walking you down there and having campaign slogans shouted the whole way.
Yep. Yeah.
Your voice is your vote.
Indeed.
Kenwood Academy class.
It's an opportunity for kids to come out, see what's going on, and then engage in their own political rights.
But events like this have been criticized, many claiming it's an exploitation of students for the political purposes of the people who brought them here.
Ah, bingo. Hello.
Yep.
That is the correct answer because that's exactly what this is.
All right. So this is NBC 5 here in Chicago. All right. They are way to the left. It's NBC, CBS, ABC, and then kind of Fox. And they're still left to center, right? For them to be saying this, and I bring this back to the article that we, even though it was translated, the factcheck.org, they let that out on their channel, right?
Yeah.
I think that people are starting to realize nobody's watching them because they're tired of their shill BS.
Yeah.
I haven't heard this level of fair reporting out of NBC Channel 5 in 10 years.
Even
And
if
that's
it
the
is
whole
just
time I've
one
been here.
counterpoint.
Right. Even if it's just
5-second
one.
counterpoint to a minute story. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But-
more than
I'm sorry, go ahead.
zero.
Yeah.
There, so E. Clay, I'll get your comment in a second. After we get done talking to this, that was like another thing I wanted to point out. That is one of the comments that he mentions. Let me go find it so I can go and star it. But it's pretty damn interesting. All right, so let's finish watching this video.
You have a political organization taking children out of school to go vote. And at the end of the day, that's wrong. And it's a violation of CPS's code of ethics. If any other group that spent the kind of money and resources on politics that CTU does did the same activity, it would be national news every single.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Yep.
That's always how it works. If the other side does it, it's national news. When the Democrats do it, it's fine. It's fine.
Electioneering at its best.
Mm-hmm. Totally, which is pretty fucking disgusting. All right. So E. Clay is asking, I heard they want to give illegals the right to carry guns. Is that true? I have seen the same thing.
The ruling was that illegals have the right, have Second Amendment rights because they haven't technically been charged with anything.
Right.
Right. And so the same things that say, the felons and all those rulings and stuff from there, it's the same basic thing from that. They're ruling that they are here, they are undocumented, they are not technically breaking any law, if we haven't charged them with anything,
Right.
we can't keep them from carrying a firearm legally. Now they still got to go through the same hoops and everything else that you do in those states, which means you have to have some kind of ID. And that's why it's important to pay attention to what comics have been saying for a while. They're giving them ID cards. They're giving them cash cards, right? Mm-hmm. And these are cartel people coming over, hiding behind children. So, yes, it is true.
Yeah. I've known several people who have come to this country legally from other countries that are not residents. They have a green card, and they do have the right to buy guns because the Constitution applies to everybody here. The problem with that, though, it's funny how they're encouraging illegals to, say, oh, yeah, you have the right to buy guns. But at the same time, they're trying to strip that from American citizens.
Well, it's to try to separate the two airs. They want us to get up in arms and say, no, they shouldn't be allowed to have guns, which, no, I don't think they should be allowed to. But it's trying to create a divisive wedge amongst two A people.
Yeah.
But the other thing to really look at is, I mean, that's not the only problem with it. The other problem is, what background check are we doing on them in the country they came from? I mean, sure, they may not have committed a crime here, but triple murder back where they're from, they should still get a gun because we don't do a background check on them everywhere, just here. I don't know what the actual process is, but I would think that could slip through the cracks pretty easy.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, that I'm hearing is that essentially a lot of these South American countries, they're basically entering their jails and prisons and say, go to America.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I would do.
They're sending us their best, right?
Yeah. Yep, sir.
Well, and now we're just arming a possible invasion force. I mean, because we're saying, yeah, come into the country illegally. We don't know who you are. Spread out through the country. And by the way, go ahead and arm yourself.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to the whole thing with the, an army being, attacking from within, right? Is that you have these people coming over, these, military age men. It's primarily what they are, folks. Primarily military age men coming in this country. And you would think that when they do the background check, they're like, oh, you're not here legally. I'm sorry, you can't have a gun. Because like I said, if you come to this country legally, this, Second Amendment, applies. All the amendments apply. Technically, anybody here in this country, even if they're visiting on a green card, those apply. I think the issue, though, is that if you're not here legally, you're already committing a crime.
Yeah, the crime was coming over illegally.
Yeah.
Just because you haven't been charged with it doesn't mean it's not a crime.
Right. And that's the issue. Because God forbid you fill out a form and you forget to put on there, yes, I got convicted of a misdemeanor. And that comes back. You can go to jail for that. Because you're basically lying on the form.
Unless your last name is Biden.
Yes, unless your last name is Biden.
Being careful on YouTube.
Well, the good
thing is
we
got to go back to rules.
Well, I mean, the funny thing about it too is that because this is not tied into my other account, if yelling at parked cars accidentally gets nuked, it doesn't affect anything.
Right. Doesn't mean we have to go out there and flaunt it and try to make a song and dance out of it.
I'm not trying. Right.
It's just
Tox can't have his vaccine hot takes while we're here.
No. We got limited for something that happened Monday night. I don't know what.
Probably something I said.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, you don't know anymore because they say they do a manual review, but then they don't tell you what it is.
Maybe it's culture's potty mouth.
Could be. That has.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the funny thing about it. This is the whole complaint about YouTube is their fucking vagaries on their rules, right? And the one thing that is really insidious about all that is if you go and you create a video and 10 years have passed and suddenly they change the rules, and now that video that you posted 10 years ago,
they'll ding you for that.
Retroactively breaks the rules. Yeah.
Well, this is the issue with that, is that you could retroactively nuke somebody's channel by changing a rule.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is the thing I talked about with the whole election thing, the election denying stuff. They're like, oh, it's fine now. Yeah, it wasn't fine during the 2020 election and for a couple of years.
2 years.
When they went and go and laxed it, I'm like, oh, great. So when we talk about election denying,
Q Akbar, it's a trap.
Yeah, exactly. Q Akbar, it's a fucking trap because when the next election rolls around, they re-implement that. Suddenly, you have people that their channels are gonna get nuked because they talked about election interference or whatever.
Yep,
and it's ridiculous. Yeah, Pinochet is like half the tours for $2 over on the Rumble side. Remember, you are being baited into extreme action. Unfortunately, the feds will have to make the first move. Be smart, people. Circles of influence during chaos. Yes, absolutely. We kind of see this right now going on with the whole Gamergate 2.0, where they have these federal agencies wanting to go and police online spaces and games for extremism. And it's like, where is the extremism? And of course, one of the recent articles that came out about Gamergate 2.0 over at The Verge kind of talked about this, and they kind of cite, kind of like these really weird things that don't make any sense, like how Roblox is radicalizing people because of blood and iron is what it was called. And I was like, what the fuck is this blood and iron thing? Is this some sort of like Nazi shit? And it's like, oh, this is the Napoleonic Wars. So the guy that went and shot up this, yeah, well, not the French Revolution. It was
no, I mean, that's what they're leading at as being.
Yeah, and so apparently the guy that shot up that Boston grocery store basically said if it wasn't for Roblox, he wouldn't have been radicalized. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the Napoleonic War. This has nothing to do with nationalism. I mean, the guy was in America. He's not a Frenchman. I mean,
are they saying they're using the chat rooms or the chat as secret communications again?
No, they just basically cited Roblox, and that was it.
The game itself.
Yeah.
Nothing within the game. Just, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. And of course, during the Christchurch shooting, you have the guy that mentioned subscribe to PewDiePie, and they're trying to like blame PewDiePie for all this shit. And it's like, dude, no. I mean, it just seems like he was trying to sow chaos in any way that he could.
Yeah, they like to create links, no matter how stupid they sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure John Wayne Gacy watched Bozo the Clown at some point.
Oh, yeah. McDonald's, Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty sure Gacy was before Bozo, but yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He saw it.
He saw it, got radicalized.
Yeah. Everybody floats here.
Everybody floats here down in the sewers. Come join us. Come join us. Now, there's one thing I kind of dropped in last minute, that crazy cat guy threw out there on Twitter. Hail, crazy cat guy out in our chat right now. I want to pull up. We won't dwell on this too long, but it's kind of funny. Shit, I got to find the link to archive.is for this article because it doesn't show up. All right. All right. I got it here. Pull it up now and go and share it. All right. Here we go. I thought this is funny. So you have this UN Secretary General youth climate activist basically calls for white people to be stripped of power in the revolutionary fight for climate justice. I always find it funny when they talk about climate justice.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have this woman. She is
Aisha Siddiqa.
Yeah. Is she Pakistani American? Trying to remember where they say where she is. But oh my God, her hot takes are fucking hilarious, man. This shit is funny. It doesn't really get interesting until you get down here. White man causes verge of extinction.
Yes, I
Yep.
knew if we worked hard enough, we could do it.
Yeah. The funny thing about this, they never mentioned the two non-white countries that are responsible for the largest amounts of pollution on this planet, which is India and China. No, it's all white people's fault.
Almost all of it's them.
Yeah.
Well, we innovated so much that we shouldn't have given away any of our technology to the rest of the world, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We should not have done that. So, in March 2021, I'm actually going to make this larger so I can read it a little easier. I'm sure that way the people watching at home can read it too. March 2021, she posted, "The white man has brought life as we know it to the verge of extinction. The white man sits at the highest levels of power in the world, the same way he has killed, looted, abused black and brown people for profit. So has he the earth," she posted in 2022. Yeah.
Do you ever think that the rest of the colors of people get upset that it's always just black and brown people that are the victims of everything that white people do?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that they always constantly leave out the fact that the black and brown people do it to themselves too.
Yeah.
Well, there's also that whole slave trade out of Africa to the Middle East.
Well, I mean, it's funny because she mentions the whole, Arab slave trade too, which I think is funny.
Right.
Let me guess. If there weren't
They're now
buyers, we wouldn't
Caucasian.
have been doing anything.
Sorry, Brian, what was that?
I said, let me guess. If there weren't buyers for all the people in the slave trade, we wouldn't have had a slave trade. Is that what she's going to pull out?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Because that's the argument I keep seeing on that one is, well, if white people weren't buying them, then we wouldn't have had to turn to, as making people into slaves.
Hey, hot take here, guys. I'm pretty sure it's not just white people buying those slaves. Just throwing that out there, going on a limb.
Yep.
Okay, the Univisor also ranted about how she believes white people should step down from power in the climate movement, saying it belongs to people of color.
You know what? That's actually fine by me. I would love to be not involved in the climate movement in any way. Just don't tell us what we're supposed to do either.
Yeah. We're allowing white people to have too much space, she said. Really? I mean, I hate this idea of, taking up space nonsense. It's like, what the fuck ever. Why? Because we have opinions and we use them. I don't get it. White people have absolutely no what?
Where are you?
Right here.
Prerogative.
There we go. God damn, I can't fucking read. Prerogative or authority to lead the movement. Pretty sure that was started by white people. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Others posts signaled out Arabs and Arab nations for being supposedly racist and colluding with white people and contributing to the climate crisis. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Whatever the fuck that means. Okay. White people colluded with other violent systems of power, like the Arab Gulf, who hurts poor black and brown people the most. So they're basically doing it to themselves. And again, this is an attempt to blame white people for what another group of people is doing to another group of people that don't have anything to do with white people. Just throwing that out there too. She said in a post about Saudi Arabian companies and other non-white people-led mechanisms of destruction. Okay, whatever that means.
You should read this as Megatron. Sorry, just saying.
I can read it as Starscream. That might be better. I don't know.
You know what? I could read it. I could read it as.
How would you read it as
Beetlebug?
That's what?
Which was the one that didn't have the voice?
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. Yeah, I could read it as Bumblebee.
Yeah, from the movie. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, another post railed against Arabs for supposedly being racist and participating in slavery. There we go. To the most disgusting extent. Okay. Yes. That's it. That's all she says about slavery and Arabs. Yes, they do it. Congratulations. America looted every inch of the planet. Have we?
No, not even
Not
close.
that I know of.
Yeah. pretty sure we're not looting the North and South Pole. Anyway, stemmed from her repeated criticisms of the U.S. and in Western foreign policy as it relates to the Middle East. In 2020, she called Biden a war criminal and said British royal family was an inequality, capitalist, and white supremacy personified.
I mean, she's got a point there.
What about the Biden family?
About the British royal family. Yeah.
I don't think there's racist people want to make them out to be.
No.
Following the George Floyd's rights of 2020, she said, America looted every inch of the planet, raped and pillaged its brown and black people, and now you are angry that your citizens are doing it to you. Yeah, that's a fucking retarded hard take.
Interesting the way that's worded, though.
Yes.
Following the George Floyd riots, everybody looted. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure it's just saying that she spoke up after the George Floyd riots, but yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna skip. Oh, actually, no. There's a few things I want to get here. This is pretty funny. Around the same time period, she said racial harmony is a fallacy. In addition to supporting abolition of the police, she also believes that BLM demonstrations were exemplary for climate activists of what it looks like to be a credible threat to power. Except they were not a credible threat to power. All they did was basically burn down their own neighborhoods.
And then prove themselves to be corrupt by embezzling a whole bunch of money.
Yes. When you are a credible threat to power, you don't get to attain permits and permission to take the streets. When you are a really threat to the system of oppression, you have to hide your identity like many BLM protesters and BIPOC climate activists have done. Okay, no, that is not the reason. The reason why they use black bloc is to make sure that they are not, you're not able to go and identify them when they're committing crimes. That has nothing to do with protesting. Go fuck yourself, lady. This is retarded.
Can I point out one other thing?
Sure.
Oh.
When you were a credible threat to power, you don't get permits and permission to take the streets.
Yeah.
So therefore, January 6th, I mean, that was, there were permits. Everybody was allowed to be there protesting. So not a credible threat.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're still on. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep. The UN Youth Climate Advisor also believes in the destruction of capitalism hang on a second here.
Purportedly,
thank you. Perpetuating evils. That's what we call a brain lockup. She also basically quotes a bunch of Marxists too. Capitalism is a viable. Capitalism and a livable planet are incompatible. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're slowly making our way over to the Marxism stuff. Working with capitalism is what will eventually kill us. Abolish fossil fuels. Yeah. That will save people.
Back to the Stone Age.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that the very things that they advocate for, they always talk about how capitalism is going to kill people, but actually abolishing fossil fuels would kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
yeah,
ridiculous.
It would. People who are in colder climates and it would kill them.
Yeah,
but that's
colder climates and hotter climates.
Mm-hmm. Another critique of capitalism was that it devours everything from protest to rebellion. The anti-capitalist content from the UN advisor at times dipped into Marxist themes. She posted quotes from Marxist Franz Fanon. This is the age of revolution, for the great masses of mankind never cease to resist, to fight as well as they could, to live in combat. The combatant dignity of humanity was maintained, and the little revolutionary vanguard bound to its socialist future. So yes, this is where the socialism comes in.
Mm-hmm.
PSA, you can be Karl Marx, reincarnate, but if you treat other people like they are insignificant, your ideology is worthless, especially if you're a man, especially if you're a white man, she said on X. Yeah. And then she also had a few others that she quoted that were Marxist as well. Trotsky, Lenin, yeah, so there you go. The UN, I have to say, is a communist organization. They want to push communism, which is why they have these Marxists. Yeah, this bitch honestly should be laughed out.
The only thing she missed out of her speech was, "How dare you?"
Yes, how dare you? How dare you be white and participate in the climate struggle? Yeah, whatever. What the fuck ever. I mean, by the way, thank you, Crazy Cat Guy. I saw that on your Twitter feed today, and I had a good fucking laugh reading this article. This chick is dumb, just like most of them, and just goes to show you that basically the UN just basically wants to push socialism and communism. So there you go.
Yeah, it's the UN's always been kind of that way. And I did a model UN in high school, and nobody else wanted to be the US, right? So my delegation, which was basically me and somebody else, got to be the US. So we go to this model UN, and we're sitting there, and it was a last minute thing. I didn't really get time to prepare too much geopolitically, and I was a senior in high school, smoking a lot of weed. So we go. And I'm sitting there and just getting destroyed by these people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ghana gets up. Oh, the United States doing all this stuff and everything. And I'm like, didn't we give you $25 million last year? That's the stuff that we're going through and dealing with all that. Mm-hmm. Really opened things up in my eyes to what was really going on. And so in the middle of this Model UN thing, we get these notes. Somebody comes in, and there's been a missile launch inadvertent in Russia, right? So, they're doing that stuff. Okay. And so I get something, the U.S. is doing this. And then the Russian representative, Russia's doing this. This was back in the 80s. So, Cold War and all this stuff still going on. It was before 88 when the Berlin Wall fell. And we're going back and forth and this stuff. And I'm like, okay. So they finally, after like 3 hours of this bullshit, do a resolution for everyone to stop. That's really what it was. We want everyone to stop. Well, U.S. had veto power. So they went through, yes. All I had to do was abstain. Mm-hmm. And everyone around that was looking at me, these 100 people, we'd save the world. And I went, and we had mics, all this stuff they're trying. And I went just right down the mic, and I went, no. Like that. And then I made this mushroom cloud.
I would have written a note and then displayed the note to everybody, and it would have said, "We just targeted Ghana because of their statements earlier.
They're infidels." Yes, we're doing that. But yeah, it was, I said, and somebody said, why did you do this? I said, the reason people fear the U.S. is because we're crazy enough to do it, right? It's pretty much, you either give us our freedom and leave us alone, or we take everyone out.
Yep.
And that's what you have to do. That's actually kind of the theme of Ender's Game. From the not Ender's point of view, but from
the Formix point of view.
And the whole little doctor and all that stuff. They're going to kill.
Well, they
everyone.
knew they screwed up. Yeah.
Right. Stuff from there. So it's
Well, it's what made Donald Trump such an effective foreign policy leader. Nobody knew what he would do next. Is he going over to North Korea to meet with Kim Jong-un, or is he going to bomb another guy in Iran?
We don't know.
Yeah.
And he probably under his jacket had this red button.
Yeah. But you didn't see Russia doing anything during his timeline. Crimea got invaded under Obama.
Well, that's easy.
Ukraine under Biden.
The reason why Russia didn't do anything is because Trump was in collusion with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
you ever
that's
think about that?
right.
If he was,
You ever think about that? Maybe that's the reason why they didn't do anything under Trump is because they were colluding together.
if they were colluding together, that would have been the perfect time for them to do whatever the hell they wanted. Instead, they did nothing because they were scared to freaking death.
Lies, probable lies.
Wow, somebody
Believe your own eyes.
Somebody watched a Acolyte trailer or something. I don't know. And Save Comics Division donates so he doesn't have to watch all this shit.
No, but I mean that's the thing. That's what they say, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the exact argument they make.
Yeah, they weren't doing anything. It's because they were colluding together. It's just like get fucked.
Yeah. You know, I've got. I know we're still on YouTube. We're going to be switching over here in a
We're gonna be
minute.
killing that real soon, by the way.
Yeah, but I am encouraged by some of the things that I am seeing. We went and voted, and in the primary, there were almost 500,000 Republicans in this state that came out and voted in the primary yesterday. Now, there were actually almost 700,000. There were 800,000 that voted out in the Democratic Party, but I expect that. Right. So in the state in general. So I was encouraged by that. And when I said I only saw one Republican name on the judge list of 16, that is the first Republican that has run in a primary or for a judgeship in this area in 10 years.
Yeah.
I saw Republicans that were running for city positions in our local area. And our local Republican office is literally 25 miles away in another city. Because before COVID, the head of the Republican Party in Illinois said, F this, and moved to Indiana.
Smart.
Yes, very smart. Yeah. But people are getting fed up about this. And, you know, it's not Democrat and Republican. It's just whoever has the common sense person at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what kind of boils down to. I mean, this is like one thing I've been saying for ages when it comes to both the left and the right.
Outside of you like to suck dick.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, sorry.
It's you need both because both have really good ideas and both have really bad ideas. And when you have both and it's rather equally distributed, I mean, they kind of balance each other out. You know, I mean, that's how I felt about like the 90s.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, yeah, that was kind of man on the street level, though.
Yeah.
The actual parties have gotten so far away from each other that the man on the street doesn't recognize most of what their parties are doing on either side anymore.
Yeah.
But they still support everything.
And even back then, the politicians of that time period, I mean, they basically, you know.
Well, that was a period where they could still have a drink with each other and talk something out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a different time. But I'm afraid, folks, our time on YouTube has come to an end. Sorry, all 17 of you watching.
I have one YouTube-friendly meme. Or
headline.
Headline, sorry.
Yeah, because I saw you pull the headlines up. I was like, okay, we got to end YouTube.
All right. So there's one here. So let me get to I'll do the headline open. And then we'll do this one.
Okay.
Should I link Rumble over to the YouTube?
Jeez whiz.
Yeah, that was weird.
Why did all the clouds
deep between the cracks?
Well, I mean, the funny thing about it too is that it played for like 5 seconds.
It's Pixel News headlines with toxic man flu.
And then, I mean, I see it playing on Rumble right now.
Right. So we'll get all that figured out. So I do have the one here. Culture Casino launches hernia belt line. Fresh out of the hospital following a freak cock-riding groin pull, hair weave billionaire and famous YouTuber Culture Casino was all smiles and flatulence on Wednesday during a press conference outside the Melting Pot Fondue restaurant in Blue Ball, Delaware. Yes, it is a real place, I'm telling you. I tried to make it last 24 seconds and pulled my groin, Casino said while grasping his manhood. We all wish Casino a speedy recovery. Thank you. Right there. So that's it for the one that I could do on YouTube.
All right. We'll minimize that real quick and we'll say sayonara, YouTube. We will.
Thank you.
You want me to drop the link in YouTube chat?
I mean,
that thing.
I don't know if you can actually drop the link.
I can't drop a link because you don't have me as a mod, but people can copy and paste.
Oh,
it.
wait. I am a mod.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll just take
All
it
right,
out
so there's
temporarily.
that. Okay, I dropped it in there. Yeah. There.
Okay.
Oh no, I am not a mod. Nobody's a mod on
this
this
is
channel.
Yelling at Parked Cars. There is no mod.
I'm not a. I can't do anything on it. You have
Copy and paste it, people.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that the 12 people that are watching are well aware of what the Rumble link is, so just throwing that out there.
All right,
thank you, everybody.
Don't make them work.
On Rumble. We will see you next time.
Subscribe to Yelling at Parked Cars channel. We are trying to get that up to 1,000 subs so we can apply for monetization, which means we'll have to take some of the live streams down. Probably.
I think honestly, isn't it like 500 now?
It is 500. So it is 500. We need
with
500 members on the channel.
For Super Chats, yeah.
Super Chat. We have 254. So we just need a little bit of a push. Those of you out there watching that. And we'll be doing that and talking about it in the other streams as well. But please go out there and show Comics some love because he does literally cry himself to sleep.
Totally. Before we go on YouTube, I want to get this from Eclo, which I thought was funny. Manhood seems like a generous term.
You are correct, Clay.
Sayonara, YouTube.
See ya, YouTube. Don't we have an outro for that?